What's going on, guys? Jackson Welch here, and take a look at what we're going to be making today. Nice. Unfortunately, I accidentally deleted the project files for this, so I'm going to be making this whole thing from scratch. So just going to be playing along just like normal. But first, I have to finish this game of Minesweeper. Ooh, I'm getting pretty good. Oh yeah, I'm on a... What? 14 seconds is pretty good, pretty good. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is import our footage. I have this truck background here. If anyone knows where I got this, just leave a comment. And so what we need to do, we actually need to track this footage. So we're going to come in here into here, and I'm going to type in camera, 3D camera tracker. Just go ahead and drop it on there. And this is going to go ahead and solve it. What we need to set it on is go in here, and we can just set it to typical. It'll typically just make it better. Okay, so that is all done. And you can see that we get a whole bunch of these random points all over the place, and these don't really mean anything to us. There's not, I mean, we got to make some information out of this. So what we're gonna do, since I've done this before, we're gonna be putting our object right around there. So what we need to do is I'm going to select these three spots, and we come down here to create a null and camera. This is going to create a 3D position from our null. So you can see that our null stays pretty much locked to the screen. You can see right here we have a 0.74 pixel average error. Anything under like 1.6 is pretty good. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to actually import what item we want to put on there. And so I'm going to be using a plugin from a Video Copilot.net Element 3D. Put in and then type in element in here and let that go ahead and solve whatever it needs to do. And then we'll jump up into the scene setup. This is where we can go and get all the stuff we need. And in order to run Element, you do need to have at least semi-decent graphics card. I have a GeForce GTX 610 PSI E. I think it's like a 2.0. Not that great, but hey, it works. We're going to come down here to Metropolitan. I'm going to use no antennas, just because the antennas are very, very, very high poly, and it will slow it down. Now I'm going to choose this one right here, and we're just going to click OK, because we don't need anything else there. You can see that it just comes in way, way weird. So we need to come down here, and we're going to create a group null. Just hit create, and then you'll get a null for that. And so then now we can work with this in the comp view instead of working with it in the control panel here. And what we're going to do is we're going to just position this so it's just actually, no, we don't want to change that position. Just hit Control Z to undo things. Okay, so you can see that our Element 3D layer is just completely not where we want it. It's just rotated wrong. It's in the wrong correct 3D space, and it's not where we want it. So we have to come down here to our null, and we're going to click P. That'll bring up this. Nope, I want to put a keyframe. We can go to Edit. I just hit Clear. Control Z to undo. Hit P again. Position. Edit. Copy. Go to here. P. Edit. Paste. And that's going to put it there. It's very, very, very tiny. Very, very small. That's what we need to do. We probably need to scale this up. So go ahead and click scale, and then just scale this thing up to where you like it. You don't want to put it too big, because see, if you put it too big, and then it starts looking a little weird. Just kind of doesn't really match the scene, you know, like, it'd kind of be weird if you just saw like a random Empire State Building in the garage. I mean, who would want to do that? Okay, so I have it nice and scaled down to fit our scene. But you can see that it looks there, and when we scrub through, it looks like it fits there, but it just doesn't match our environment at all. And so to fix this, what we can do is drop down the quality here. I don't have that great of a computer. We need to make this more presentable. Everything in real life has shadows. It doesn't matter which way you look at it, it's always got shadows. So you can see here that, let me bring this up to full here. You can look over here, all these shadows, it looks like the light source is coming from over there and almost from a direct light source because you have a nice ambient occlusion shadow right there, just where the contact points are. So that's what we're going to make with this. Now, Element 3D does not create its own shadows. Well, okay, it's confusing to explain, but the way that I like to do it is I come in here, make a solid, make it black, hide it, and just bring this in. Before we do that, we probably want to get this positioned just perfect to where we like it. So I'm going to hit the rotate key, and we're just going to give it a little bit of rotation. Maybe you don't want to really mess with Z too much. And that looks pretty good. Just get it to looking about right. There we go, that looks pretty good. Okay. Now we can go ahead and start up while putting in the shadows. So you're going to turn the layer back on. And I keep lying, I don't know why I do that. And we just want to make a little bit of a mask about right there. And you want to get it so at least it has a little bit, maybe expand the mask a little bit. Click MM, that'll bring up MM, mask properties. Turn the mask back on. We want to put this under the element layer. And then just kind of tweak it so it just looks correct. Remember, in 3D it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has pretty close to it. But as long as you can fool what you're trying to perceive in that environment, it's all good. So then maybe bring it out like that, and then just give it a little bit of a shadow. You can see that it kind of doesn't really look like it's on the ground. It just kind of looks like it's just has a little bit of contact on there. But we'll come back and fix that. Okay, so what we need to do now is we want to get the lighting of our environment correct. So we're going to come here to the environment, our element 3D layer, and come down here to the render settings and the fog. And we may want to make sure that we're on the first frame. I'm going to hit enable fog, and you can see that the default is that color. But we're actually going to make this kind of like this nice brown. We want to make this start distance, and you just have to tweak the settings and play around with whatever you like. I think I put this at like 35 in the first example. And then the fall off range, bring that back a little bit. And then bring the start distance back. There we go, that's pretty good. And so you can just see, I mean, we're talking barely any, actually, that's like nothing. There's like nothing there. There we go, that's pretty good. Then in the environment, this environment really doesn't matter for this circumstance, just because that this doesn't have a whole lot of reflectivity. But if we want to, we can come in here and go to the environment layer, and I think the one that Andrew Kramer used in the example was this the studio. And then we can just click open, click OK, and yeah, you see it doesn't really have that much of an effect on it. Yeah, actually just a little bit. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to get the lighting, like I said we should do. And so the way that I like to do this is really incorrect, but it works, is just scroll through here and find one that fits this scene the best. So dramatic looks pretty good. I think dramatic is what I'll use. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. But it's not 100% accurate. So what I like to do is come up here and just put in, that was a dog, put in a new light. No. Okay, so once we have the light in the scene, I turn it off. You can see it still has the same effect. Okay, so we pretty much good. Let's give this a little RAM preview, see what we got. And you can see what we forgot to do. So I forgot to turn this on a 3D layer. And see, now it just is all messed up because we did not take the same position as this. So go ahead and copy this and edit, paste in there, and it's really small again. So now we got to scale it up. Go ahead and click S and bring it up to scale. Ignore that. And you can see that now that our shadows just don't look really that good. Maybe put a little bit more feathering on them. You can see that it really just doesn't look like it's on the ground, so we're going to fix that right here. What we need to do is pop into our group 1. And I'm going to give this a little bit of a scale. Undo that. The position. Just bring it down a little bit. You shouldn't really do that because see, if you play it too much and you really start messing things up. But if you just bring that to about right there, and then bring our black solid, and then just bring that about right there. There we go. That's pretty good. So go ahead and save. Don't make the mistake that I make. And I'm just gonna save it to the desktop like a boss. And one thing you always want to keep in mind, especially for me, is your RAM usage. So you can check here that, yeah, I got 8 gigs like a boss. Okay, so we are looking pretty good here. Except I kind of want to maybe give our elemental layer some curves. Slap a curve correction on there. And give it a little more contrast. Kind of maybe brighten it up a little bit. Maybe put in a little bit of those reds. Maybe we have a little bit of green because we're inside the thing. Maybe put a little hint of blue. We don't need a whole lot. And one way that I've seen many people on YouTube do is this. But the problem about doing this is this doesn't 100% work. See, I mean, I can show you. I can bring in the curves here. I can try my best to try to match it. Go into the red channel. About there, looks good. Go into green. Boost up the green a little bit. Blue. Whoa, there's no blue in this. Maybe right there. And then when we come back, it's not the right color. So just be careful about trying that method. Maybe I did it wrong. Tell me. Sue me. Okay, so the final thing that we are missing is we want to get our element, we want to make sure we get everything right inside the program. So we're going to turn on ambient occlusion, of course. I set this to about 4. Set the gamma to about 1. And set that to 0. Motion blur, set this to 8 samples. We'll get to motion blur in a second. Actually, no, we can get to it now. Just turn on motion blur for those things. Turn it on. You can see, ooh, we get some nice blurring. I'm going to turn that down in quality. And you can just put a little nice RAM preview going here. Let's take a look at it. Actually, at this speed, we'll be looking at it in about 3 years. So we'll look at what we have. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And as far as I can tell, that about wraps it up. I'm just looking for any last things that we can put on this. The color looks to have matched the scene correctly. If you don't think I matched it right, please tell me. If you want to see more videos like this, please tell me. You guys need to tell me a lot of things. If you have a question about anything, I think I know After Effects pretty well. I'm pretty confident I can answer a question on it. What else should we add? How long am I? 17. It's not actually 17 minutes for you guys, because I cut out a lot of parts. Let's see. Okay, so now we need to prepare element for render. We're going to come in here, and we have the almighty output. And we want to turn off compressed textures because we don't want them compressed when we're rendering. And what we want to do is I'll set this to full, just so you guys can see the intense quality. And I'm actually going to shut off motion blur just for this. So you have this here. And what we're going to do is there's this super sampling. You're going to set that to 2. And let the computer do its thing. I guess it's done. You can see it really didn't do a whole lot. And super sampling doesn't. But here is the FXAA smoothing. This stuff is powerful. Just click 2. 2 is probably all my computer wants to handle. And you can see already it just goes to town. Turn off 0. You can see that there. And all it does is it takes like really fine points and just smooths them down so they're more uniform. And you may think it doesn't look that great now, but turn on some motion blur there. Oh yeah, we're in business, folks. The last thing that maybe I want to do is maybe put some overall color correction. We can bring in an adjustment layer. Put in color correction, maybe go curves. Then on there, bring in some overall contrast. I see that the color of it really doesn't match it, but that'll be a quiz. You guys see if you can do this better than me. I think in the original example I took a lot more time doing that. And oh, that looked pretty cool. There we go. And now this is probably the most important part of motion graphics or video editing or anything. Gotta add the bars. Gotta add the bars. If you don't add the bars, I mean, look at this. No bars, bars. I mean, that looks like an action movie. You get explosions, Denzel Washington. I mean, you got yourself an action movie. So, I'm gonna render this one out. And here, quick tip, these are my render settings. H.264. Check. Maybe. We don't have audio in here, it doesn't matter. And that is it. I think I saved 15 megabits per second. Yeah, 15. And that's about it. I'm going to click save, and I'm not going to save with screen capture going, but I will. Just kidding. So, thanks for watching this episode of Jackson Welsh. Be sure to leave a like on this video. It helps me out a lot. Let me know how the quality of my new blue microphone sounds. I think it sounds pretty cool. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I will see you all later. Let's hit render. Oh, wait, no. I can't leave yet. You guys got to see this. Okay, that'll be after. Okay, so I said goodbye, see you later, and then after I render this, I'm gonna play it in the back, okay? Or you can just go to the beginning because I played it there too. Okay, all good? Okay, bye guys.